Welcome to Rom Wills, Money Matters. Street hustlers will survive an economic downturn. Now, this ain't like, before I even get started, this isn't to just talk about go out and be a hustler. If it's not in you, it's not in you. But I was thinking about that the other day because I know some hustlers. I know everybody, really. And let's just say they find a way to sell stuff. And it's not always illegal. Because you can see, like, you can get a lot of vendors who hit flea markets, festivals, and stuff like that. That's a hustle. And now here's the thing. They'll survive an economic downturn for one simple reason. They thrive no matter what, or at least survive it. I'll put it like that. You know, make enough to do the things they have to do. Because, and it comes down to their mindset, the hustle. They get up every morning thinking, I gotta hunt, I gotta make money. They do different events, they have to make money. It's a change in their whole being. Because let's be real, people, if they work a 9 to 5, they can almost sleepwalk it. They can go to a job, you can go to a 9 to 5 job, and you can even take a day, you can work in an office or take a day, I ain't gonna do much. And depending on the day in retail, a restaurant's a slow day, you can chill out. You can call it in. When I say call it in, you're not doing any real work. And you know you're going to get paid. The hustler, he or she, mainly he, but I'll say he. I don't feel like being politically correct and say she. But he knows he has to get out there, he has to sell those products. He has to make that money. You know, if he's a vendor, he knows he has to sell some products to make that money. He has to pay that rent. Regardless of where he's living, he's got to pay that rent. Depending on a hustler, he might have to pay that mortgage. He has to pay for that car. He has to pay for his stuff. And then even what he's selling, he still got to buy it from someplace. He's got to do the work. He's got to get out there and hustle. If he's vending, say he's a vendor, and say he's one of those vendors that sell stuff on a periodic basis. Like you got some guys, they'll sell the stuff for Valentine's Day, then they'll sell the stuff for Easter, they'll sell the stuff for Mother's Day. Fathers, we don't get as lucky, but they hitting different things. Or if they are a vendor, they are like a vendor, and that's the best example that I'm familiar with. That vending lifestyle, it really is a lifestyle. You have to hit different festivals and stuff. You got to hit flea markets. Like a true to the game vendor, they'll have a place at a flea market. And depending on the flea market, they can make some money. They got the right spot and everything. Indeed, you have some vendors at flea markets, they can live off of it. I was able to do so for a while when I had a book stand. It was at a flea market. But then I was also doing different vending shows. And trust me, you got to hustle. You got to go out your way. And sometimes, I'll go to a vending show. I try to support like different ones. And it really is a thing of no matter what's going on, no matter how much money people making, that's cool. But you still have to make your money. So a vendor, they have to, like a vendor, a hustler, they got to figure out their sales technique. How they going to make their money? How they going to get money to come to them? They got to figure out their sales technique. They got to figure out what it is about them that can get a person to stop. One thing about sales is more about that connection. So they got to figure that out. Two, they got to figure out who's likely to buy their products. One of the good things I could do, I could read people real well. I can read people real well because I can look at somebody and almost tell what they're going to buy. When I had my book stand, I had my books divided, like the fiction, what I call bubblegum fiction on one side, and then the deep conscious raising stuff on the other. I could take a look at somebody and tell which side they were going to go to. And I was correct 95% of the time. Every now and then somebody fooled me. Every now and then. But most of the time you could already tell. Indeed, if you really get good at it, you already know who's going to stop in that. But that's part of the hustle. You got to learn how to read people. But see, they're going to survive an economic downturn because they already have that survivor mentality. That's the key thing. See, if you like a lot of people getting laid off right now, right? A lot of people getting laid off. A lot of people can't handle that. If they can't get another job, they can't handle it. And many people, they've had serious stress because they couldn't get anything else. The hustler not worried about layoffs. The hustler just worrying about what the next one is. And sometimes they'll switch their stuff up. But they already in survival mode. The average hustler is not making $1 million a year. The average hustler is not making 6 figures. The average hustler, they might not be living in that big old house or anything. They could have a room someplace, some might be living out of a van. Like you actually have some vendors, they just travel around place to place. Oh, that's how deep it is. That's how deep it is. But they doing what they can. But they had that survivor mentality. So yeah, stuff will change up for a lot of people who not used to that. But if you have that survivor mentality, that hustle mentality, that hunter, where like an animal knows they gotta get up and hunt. The food ain't gonna show up. The bird knows they gotta fly around, find that food. The hustler knows if they want to eat, they gotta get out there and do it. So no matter what, something can happen. Something can happen. So they know they gotta get up. They gotta get up in the morning. They gotta be in a great mood. They got to have that energy, got to be able to read people, and they have to do it. Now, in vending, I'm most familiar with that type of hustle. And now you got some people like, selling fruits or flowers by the road. You come to the stop sign, in the Baltimore area, squeegee boys, they'll just spray stuff on somebody's window and stuff and try to scrape it, try to get some money. And it is a way of life for some. Now, like I said, I don't recommend it for anyone who doesn't have that mindset because it can be stressful. It can be stressful because you got to be on it every single day, every single minute. And those are for the legal hustlers, the ones who, shall we say, are marketing contraband goods in a fresh air environment. Oh, they got to really stay on their toes. I definitely don't recommend that. But regardless, they have a survivor mentality. They'll find a way. They'll find a way. Now, the real smarter ones, they'll figure out how to raise that up to another level. And those the ones, you do have some that can make it to a higher level, 6 figures, even 7 figures, and have a standard business. But most of them, it's just a survival thing, and it's not going to change. They probably not even paying attention to the financial pages or financial news. They just know they got to get this food today. No, they got to pay for that room, something. But they will survive an economic downturn. And, I'm just sharing that just to give you a perspective, because one of the things with this channel is all about a mindset. Like if you know any hustlers, like some people, they always hustling, but always managing to get money. Sit down and talk with them. Sit down and talk with them. Or pay attention to their behavior. You can learn a lot. So anyway, though, until next time, let's go make that money.